is we'll start. Welcome everyone to the closing ceremony. So before we actually begin, there's some parents here, some new parents. So I'd like us to quickly, for the Paly Python team, we'll quickly introduce ourselves. So hello everyone, I'm Rohan and I'm the founder and president of Paly Python. And yeah, so actually we'll skip the bio. If you guys want, you can tell them a little bit about yourself. We'll keep it short. So next, Jerry.
Okay, I'm Jerry. I'm the vice president, and I do some technical operations at Paly.
Yes, and actually Jerry's underselling himself. He's the website lead. So the lead of that team that works on the website. And he's very, very skilled. Okay, is Atticus here? Okay, we'll go to Mahir.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mahir. I'm the marketing lead, and I'm a rising sophomore at Paly, and I help with like advertising and marketing and all that sort of stuff.
Cool. Yeah, you know.
Hi, my name is Yinu. I'm helping with fundraising and marketing for Paly Python right now.
Awesome. And then Ming.
Hello, I'm Ming. I'm also a part of Paly Python. And yeah, I just help around.
Awesome. Okay. So is there anyone I missed here? I think, and then I'll also talk about Atticus. So Atticus is not here, but he is the content team lead and he's very helpful too. He does a lot of work on the website. So we'll begin now. So first we'll be telling you about insights we gained from this hackathon. So, and actually, yeah, you know, I can't see the speaker notes right now. Option 2. Okay, never mind, I can see them. We're good. Just arranging my screen. Okay, so over the span of a week, you all created games or simulations on the topic of climate change. But this is a huge accomplishment and everyone should be proud of what they did because creating a game or a simulation or just a project in 1 week is not easy. And I think you all realize that you have to make certain compromises and sacrifices because of the limited time. And it can be a little stressful, but what we saw is we saw a bunch of finished projects and which had a lot of thought put into them, which had a lot of functionality and detail. So that is very impressive to us. It's a good job to all the teams. We also learned a lot of valuable lessons. So, and I think because this is the first hackathon we held, so we learned how do you organize and host a hackathon. So we had to create a lot of materials for this, like you see these slides. We had to think about the rules of the hackathon, how it should work. We needed to figure out how to hold it. So we have these events like the kickoff event, the closing ceremony. You have to figure out like how do you administer prizes. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. Then fundraising and marketing strategies. So we had to think of how to raise money for the hackathon for $300 worth of prizes and how to market it. So last time you guys heard from me here, we talked about the marketing. So yeah, we had to figure out the best approach. So, and then finally, judging the project submissions. That was a very interesting takeaway for us because Yunu and I think, yeah, Yunu and Atticus had created a rubric. And we were prepared to just follow the rubric, score all of the projects and then like rank them and then assign winners. But it was actually more complicated than that. Yeah, judging wasn't easy. We wanted to be fair and But see, like we all have different opinions, so sometimes it's hard to come to a consensus. So we spent like an hour, say like a little upwards of an hour, and we just like sat together, and we had a lot of disagreements, but ultimately we were able to iron it all out. So I think you guys will be happy with the way we've judged it. And then impact. So yeah, from everyone's projects, it's clear that you really took the time to learn about the topic. You learned about the contributors, the effects, all the different areas of climate change. Like, I think the trend we saw is most teams chose to focus on a specific part. Like one focus, like I think Millen focused on like, yeah, sea level rise. And then we had like Andrew who covered wildfires. So that's awesome. Like just, and then what we also saw is a lot of teams, yeah, they're communicating this information to the user. So that means that you're raising awareness for climate change. People who play your game or your simulation, they're getting educated about climate change. So next, we're going to start the winners. So I'm sure you're all very excited. So presenting, actually no, we have one thing before the winners. So Jerry will be telling you about the prizes. We'll go through all of the winners. I think Jerry has some more stuff to say at the end. And then he's gonna push the hackathon results thing to our website. So then I'll give you a quick tour of that. So Jerry, I'm handing it off to you.
All right, so before we get into the actual winners, let's talk a bit about the prizes of the hackathon. The total is $300 of prizes that you all will be receiving. First place will get $50 in Amazon gift card and a Raspberry Pi. So a Raspberry Pi is like a little device. It's like the circuit board you see in the picture on the right there. And what you could do is you could use it for hosting your projects. So you could run a website or something on it. So it's like a small computer you could use for hosting. I'm sure you'll find it very useful. Second is 30 the Raspberry Pi. Third is 20 the Raspberry Pi. But if you didn't win first, second, or third, we also have 4 more additional prizes for $25 each. And that is the creativity, functionality, impact, and design winners. Additionally, everybody will get a section on the section of the website that Rohan talked about. And on our website, everybody will be able to see our projects and also, yeah, like just check out everybody's submissions. So those are the prizes for the hackathon. And now, let's get into the actual winners. So in third place, we have the Polar Bear Simulator by Ali and Ella. So this is a pretty cool project. So would anybody from this team like to talk about their project?
Sure. Well, we made a quiz, and then like in the picture it says which gas is not a greenhouse gas.
Yeah, you could also open the demo, Rohan.
Oh, okay, wait.
Sorry.
All right. So tell us about your project.
Okay, so when you press start, then it gets you a question, and then you can answer the question, and if you answer correct, or if you answer wrong, it will tell you, and then it will tell you more about it. Like here it was asking, and then it says, although nuclear energy is not bad for the environment, it will only last 70 to 80 years. And then you can keep playing the game, save the polar bear.
All right, so this is pretty cool. It has some pretty good design also. So what was the hardest part in making this project?
For me, it was probably making the A, B, C, and D so you can just click on them. I had really trouble making that.
And why was that a problem?
Well, first, I couldn't figure out how to make it. And then I finally made it so when you see the mouse, there's like a little black spot, and that's how I coded it to make it so when you touch the red A, B, C, or D.
Okay, so I guess that's a pretty clever solution, and it's also pretty impressive that this project was made in Scratch, which is a block-based programming language. So this is a pretty solid project overall, and the questions are nice because they tell people about the impacts of climate change. So good job, you guys, for making the third place project.
Thank
All
you.
right. So next we have the second place project, and that is the Sustainable Farm Simulator by Paly. And I don't think she is here at the moment. So
Yeah, I think she said she couldn't make it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, I'll just, so you could open up the demo. So this project is pretty cool because it simulates the process of making a sustainable farm. So the goal, it's like a little calculator or game. So the goal is to design a farm so that you balance the carbon output or carbon footprint of the farm with trees that you plant. So there's some description text there, but the basic idea is that you need to feed as many people as possible by planting crops, and farming animals, but you also need to balance your environmental impact by planting trees. And you only have a fixed budget and a fixed amount of land. So we thought this project was really cool because it showed people exactly the environmental impact of the food they were purchasing. So Rohan, you could just type a few numbers in there, like the amount of cows on this farm. So it gives you the option of conventional and then like an organic type. Right. So there's GM corn, which is genetically modified, or non-GM corn. But so there's all these food types that you get to choose of how many amounts you want to grow or produce. And then at the end, it will give you a report about how much your farm will impact the environment. So there it tells you the cost and the acreage. And also it tells you how many people you fed. So we thought this is cool because it shows people exactly how much the food they're purchasing really costs and the carbon impact of the food that they're eating. So it makes people more aware of their decisions when buying groceries, and also how to, better stop the issue of climate change. So this was a pretty cool project overall.
Thanks for that, Jerry. And then we're going to go to our first place overall winner. So without further ado, congratulations to Milland with his ocean level simulator for winning the hackathon. So Milland, would you like to tell us more about your project?
Yeah, so it basically shows like you can enter like how much the temperature would increase by a certain year. Like 2031 is the default. And then it'll show you how much the sea level would rise, the global average sea level would rise if the temperature rose by that much by that year. And then it'll also display all the coasts in the world that would be submerged underwater. Like just the edges of the coast would be submerged underwater if the sea level rose by this amount.
Wow, so can you tell us a little bit more about how you created this project? Because it was one of the more complex projects that we looked at.
Yeah, so I got from online this website like called Natural Earth. They had coordinates of all the coasts in the world. So and then I had to use this like parse that kind of data with some external library. And then so basically I wanted to find like the elevation for every single coast in the world. So then I could see like if the sea level rose by this much, would it be underwater? So then I got the elevation data from Google Maps. They have a API for that. And then basically then after that, you just take the input of the temperature. And then I found like a paper on like by this physics professor that expressed how much the sea levels would rise if the temperatures rose by this amount by this year. So then I could just use that to see how much the sea level will rise, and then all the elevations that were below the new sea level rise, like those coasts would be underwater. But then like one other thing is that like places like Amsterdam or where they have they're already under sea level. So I just discarded all the places that are already under sea level because they have like dams or something that will prevent them from being submerged.
Nice. And then can you tell us what was the hardest part in creating this project?
I think the hardest part was that the Google Maps JavaScript API, which is I'm displaying right now, that was pretty cheap, so I didn't have to worry about the cost for that. But the the Google Maps elevation API, like if you give it too many requests, it's pretty expensive, and it also has like limits. Like you can only send this many coordinates in one request, and you can only send like this many requests per second. So I guess like just making sure I wasn't going over those limits. Because like suppose I was running my whole program and then at the end I accidentally sent too many, then the program would crash and I would have to redo the whole thing and then pay for all those other elevations again. So
Wow. And then so the last question is, what is the thing that you're most proud of in this project?
I guess it's just like integrating all this different data into one thing. And then I learned a lot about climate change, so that was good.
Awesome. Okay. So yes, so those are the top 3 winners. But even if you weren't one of the people on the podium, you can still win something by being the best in a category. So now we're going to go to Mahir, who's going to tell you about some other winners.
Yeah, so the first prize is the most creative prize. So the winner of the most creative prize was Climate Change Games by Arjun, Hadi, and Rian. So we were really impressed by this project, especially because all of you are so young compared to the other competitors. So would you like to describe your project?
Sure. So me, Hadi, and Rian, we each created different games. The one that I created was the flood simulator, and you can basically have different settings like which climate policy and how much carbon extraction you put in to change the effect of the flooding.
Very, very cool. So how did you guys manage working together? Like, did you join a common call or did you just like work remotely?
We just each created different games, and then I created the website, and then we just like had a meeting and then put it all together.
Very, very cool. So
Yeah.
to you, what was the most fun part about this whole project?
It was probably like just looking at like everything we've done, because it's like I think it's pretty cool like on like how much we achieved, and like we were able to do all this in 7 days.
Agreed. This project is definitely one that you should be proud of. So I think
Yeah, and
that's
Riyadh, and he can explain his Iceberg Simulator that he created.
So what I did for my Iceberg Simulator, the hardest part for me was getting the meter to not go off the meter bar to go off the actual meter. And it took me a while to figure that out, but I eventually figured it out by just changing the color of the top and bottom of the meter and not allowing it to go past that. And I had the idea for the polar bear because polar bears are going extinct because the icebergs are melting, and that's their natural habitat. So I made it so if the polar bear is not touching the ice, it will fade. And then the color detecting was simple. really. It was just finding out what color the meter bar was touching.
Yeah, we were definitely impressed with that slider. That was one of the things that caught our eye. So, Hadi, would you like to talk about your electric car thing? Or Rowan, is Hadi here?
Yeah, I don't see Hadi.
Okay.
Yeah, before we go, I noticed that Miley, hi Miley, thanks for coming. I don't see, wait, give me 1 second. I think, okay. Miley, thank you for coming. So I want to tell you that you won second place. So your project Sustainable Farm. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your project? Yeah, Miley, if you want to tell us about it, you can unmute and describe your project to us. Talk about how you built it. Oh, okay, I see in the chat. No problem. Then we'll continue. If you want to talk though, just tell us and we'll give you a slot at the end.
Yeah, so the next topic we looked at was how functional is the program? And this one definitely caught our eye when looking at all the submissions. So the winner of this, the Best Functionality Award, goes to Wildfire Fighters by Andrew Tao. So Andrew, I don't know if Andrew is here, but Andrew, would you like to share or describe your project?
Yeah, Andrew's not here.
Okay, Andrew's not here. So Rowan, you want to open it or open it down?
Yeah,
It's actually really, really good.
yeah. The plan was originally mute this video and then Andrew can speak over it. But since he's not, by the way, if I play a computer sound, will you guys be able to hear it?
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll actually just play part of this video for you. So it'll be like Andrew is here. So.
Rohan, I don't think we can hear the audio.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then why don't you speak over this here?
Yeah, so Andrew basically created a wildfire simulator. So you can see the red on the screen, it grows like a wildfire, and it becomes brown where it's like a dead zone. So the fire is actually not burning there. And you can use that fire truck icon to go around and try to put out the fire. So it's a very good simulation, it's really accurate, and we were overall very impressed with how he coded it.
Nice. Now we're going to go to Yunu, who is going to present the last two categories.
Yes, so our best design award goes to the Oil Tycoon Simulator. So team, if you're here, would you like to share some description about your project?
Yeah, this team is not here.
Okay, then maybe you play the demo. Yeah, so this was a game that showed the perspective of the fossil fuel companies by demonstrating how profit can be extracted from the earth, especially essentially allowing people to steal from the earth. Tragedy of the Commons. This game ends with both a destroyed earth and a very rich player, perfectly encapsulating this concept. That was the description the team gave for us about their project. And we also really like their design, especially with the straightforward and easy to understand design with the colors, themes, and symmetry. So congratulations to the team, although they're not here right now.
Nice. And then also, I think this was one of the more creative descriptions I read. I thought Props to Blockhead Dev for their description. So now this is the final category.
Yeah, so last but not least, it was the most impactful award, and this award goes to Trash Does the Talking. So would any of you like to give some description of your project for us?
I guess like this game is so you have to sort out different trash or different items into either trash, recycling, compost, or you can even reuse it. And it sort of explains what things are and how you should use them in real life.
Yeah, we thought it's a really simple and easy to understand concept, but also very helpful and educational. So maybe would you like to share a bit about what did you to make this project, or what made you think to make this project?
I guess we were mm, we sort of decided to do this because, I mean, I guess it's a little different than what other people might have done. And it also had some other things like that all of us could do, like designing the title screen or the UN or all the icons, as well as the coding. So like that was pretty fun to do.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. We thought it was the most impactful because it not only helped build awareness, but also it educates people. So Java, and congratulations. And also, Rohan mentioned this earlier, but I'd again like to give thanks to all of you who participated in our hackathon and remind you that all of your projects will be posted on our website, whether or not you received an award. Every single one of you made an impact to the climate change by researching information, making projects, and educating people. That is a very impressive and significant work. So give thanks to you and congratulations.
Thanks for that, Yanu. So let me see. Okay, this is the next slide. So we'll get into this shortly, but first we'll take a quick break to look at the website. So Jerry, whenever that's ready, just tell me and then.
The website is ready.
Awesome, okay. So, and then all of you will put the link here. So it's /hackathon results. Actually, it's hard for me. Can someone else put the link in the chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, cool. So now Jerry and I will tell you about the website. So this is the cover page. And if you scroll down, we can see first place, ocean level simulator, description, impact, code. This is an iframe, so you can play it here. So let's try this. Our #1 project. And then we also have, I'm gonna make this a little larger. We have Design a Sustainable Farm by Miley, and then Save the Polar Bear Quiz by Ollie and Ella. So you see that, and then we can also see all of the project submissions here. So let's say we wanted to learn more about like wildfire fighters. We could click this and see a demo. Wanted to learn more about ocean level simulator. Click this, we can play it inside. New screen. So all of you check this out. I think you should definitely see all the other projects because they're really cool. We also have Protect the Tree. So this one's pretty cool too. You know, okay, so
on Replit, it does not work well.
it doesn't.
I made it for VS Code, not REPL.
You know, okay, so I know that you guys didn't win a prize, but I'd like to give you the opportunity to talk about your project. So if you guys want to, tell us about it.
All right. So I had so we did not have time, so I just scrapped this up. So I made this tree. I was gonna do it for something else, but then I used it here. It's you just use the arrow keys to move, and if you get hit by a white block, then you die, and then your tree dies.
Cool, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna play it now. Uh-oh. Okay, I'll go to the Raffle here. Yeah, this one was nice. Like, you know, we only have here.
Yeah, it sometimes goes turns like really slow. I don't know why.
I'm glad it's slow because I would have been dead by now. So, you know, I know that like we only have 7 prizes to give out and we had 8 teams, but we still really like this one. So good job. No. Okay, very cool. So now, Jerry, would you like to add anything about the website?
Yeah, sure. So one thing I want to emphasize is, well, first of all, congratulations to all the teams. But this hackathon is also a learning experience. So here on the website, not only do we have a demo and the description, we also have the code for all of these projects, which all of the teams provided us with. So some of these projects are actually pretty complex, like the ocean level. So I would recommend checking out these projects' code. So like here you could see like all of the code that went into calculating the levels, ocean levels and whatever. And I think this should be a learning experience for everybody to just look at these projects and look at how they were coded and maybe learn something from all of these projects.
Okay, should we go back to the slides? So yeah, so Jerry's gonna tell you more about the prizes.
Okay, so we listed out the prizes earlier. So if your team received a prize, if your team received a Raspberry Pi, first of all, we're going to need an address to ship this Raspberry Pi to. So we will contact you further in email, and then you guys could just provide us with one address to ship the Raspberry Pi to. And you have to make sure everybody agrees and also how the prizes should be split, because your team will get the prizes that we have mentioned, and I guess you guys could just all split it among your team members as you see fit. And everything will just be sent through email. So if you receive the prize, just look out for an email sending more information. Once again, congratulations to everybody for participating in the Paly Python Hackathon. Really great projects and good job.
Okay, so the next thing are next steps. So this will be about, I'll be telling you more about the future of Paly Python, some things we have planned. So we'll get into that now. Okay, so like you guys heard in the kickoff event, we have 3 overarching goals. So the first one is create an exceptional learning platform. The second one is give underserved communities programming opportunities. And the third one is empower students through programming. So let us go into the East Palo Alto mission. So this is to achieve our second goal. That's one of our big goals. So this is our step to work towards that goal. We're gonna first start by helping underserved communities close to us. So the obvious choice was East Palo Alto. So, and like really the big thing is we want all students, we want to help all students learn to code no matter their socioeconomic background. So one thing that I thought about is like, so even in this hackathon, we're holding, we held summer camps last year, we held hackathons. They're accessible, like anyone can join them, but really anyone can't join them because if you come from a lower socioeconomic background, then you may not even have a computer, which is something that's necessary to compete. So there are barriers to entry. So if we really want to help all students learn how to code, then we need to help underserved communities because they have a lot of need for computers and technology, but they also have a great barrier to entry. So those are the 2 things we're going to tackle. So the plan is, and I'm gonna quickly get the link to the oh, here it is. GoFundMe, because I wrote more on this in the morning. But you guys, oh yeah, now we can share the slides because the winners are out. So I'll put the slides here so you guys can read up on the GoFundMe, visit it yourself. So we want to raise, okay, so the plan is first, we're going to raise $1,000 through GoFundMe. Then we're going to buy 10 Chromebooks. And then let me just see what I wrote here. Yeah, so we're going to research and visit libraries in East Palo Alto to determine which one has the greatest need. And then we'll donate the computers to that library. So yes, this is what your contribution will do. Then what we'll also be doing is we're not just going to leave it at that. We're going to be hosting programming workshops with experienced guest speakers in East Palo Alto to help give more programming opportunities. And then likewise, this is what I was talking about. So all of us here, like not all of us are in Palo Alto, but most of us here in Palo Alto, we have access to many programming opportunities that others do not. And then also we realize that our events and hackathons do not reach students of lower socioeconomic background. So that is why one of our main goals is to give underserved communities programming opportunities because they have the greatest need and greatest barrier to entry, like I had pointed out before. So that is essentially our goal. So yeah, this description tells you what specifically we're going to do and why we're going to do it. So we've already raised $180, as you guys saw in the kickoff event. So this is specifically to the parents, but yeah, if your child enjoyed our hackathon and you want to help us with our mission here, feel free to donate. It doesn't have to be much. It can be $5, $10, $20, but you'll be helping us reach our goal. And then everybody here, if your parents are not here, I would like you all to go tell your parents about this. And if you guys are comfortable with this, I'd like you to ask them to donate to us. Yeah, once again, it doesn't have to be much, but we appreciate all donations. So GoFundMe. So this is a timeline. So let's look at some other things we're doing at PalyPython. So East Palo Alto mission, we're gonna prepare, like after this hackathon, like the PalyPython team, we're gonna take a break for a week. We're gonna have a celebration party on Monday. But afterwards, we're gonna start the fundraising team, marketing team, they're gonna start raising the money. Then the website team is gonna start creating our learning platform. So we're gonna make a really good platform to learn how to code. And we'll finish it hopefully by this summer. It's ready to go at the beginning of the next school year. And we are going to market this and spread it across the country. And we're going to make it the preferred way to learn programming. Because if you look at current models, they're either not free or they're not comprehensive enough, or they don't have an engaging UI to teach it. So we're going to, take note of all the faults we find, and we're going to create a platform which has none of them. So look out for that. And we're going to be holding our club next year. And then if you like this hackathon, we will be holding more hackathons. So right now we're thinking we could do a hackathon over this year's winter break and then one next summer. So yeah, if you want that experience, but stay tuned for what we're doing. We also have a lot more activities planned. And then you can also attend our club. So if you like this, you can attend our club. What I'm actually going to do is for the next school year, we're going to make our club after school. So even if because I know like all schools have different lunch times, but we'll make it after school. So anyone can join our club. You don't have to be from Palo Alto High School. You can go to Green. You don't even have to be in Palo Alto. So this section is you. Okay, so takeaways. You created an awesome project in just 1 week. So you can build off of it. You can make it cooler. You could use it for your college applications. Yeah, like colleges, it's if you want to be a computer scientist, you could create a you could add this to your portfolio, and that's something that you'll give to colleges. Continue to pursue programming, continue to raise awareness for and make an impact on climate change. I think all of you learned, I think many of you knew this before, but I'm sure also many of you learned more about climate change, and now you really know to the extent that it's a problem. So hopefully this hackathon motivates you to continue raising awareness for and making an impact on climate change. So this is a very important part, feedback. I cannot copy this. Okay, can Jerry or someone else, can you put this link in the chat? So yes, so we're going to be holding more hackathons in the future. So we'd like to collect feedback from you, hear your thoughts on how it went for you. I'll just click this. So we have all of these things. Like, how did you hear about it? This helps our marketing team figure out what approaches were best, like most successful. So then, like, we did a lot of advertising to schools. Well, let's say that nobody here came from schools, then we're going to put less emphasis on that in the future. So try to be detailed if you're giving us an other. How much did you like the prompt? That's pretty helpful. How fair did you think the judging was? Do you feel like, yeah, this is good for us? And then, yeah, I'd encourage you to be thorough, but of course you can write however much you want to write. And then your team name is also optional. So if you have negative stuff to say about us, don't worry, you can just not put your team name. Or you can be really brave and you can put your team name. So.
Actually, to add one more thing. On the last question of the survey, it says anything else you want to say. So I would encourage you to put something there that you would want out of Paly Python. So this would help us maybe plan new events in the future or get new ideas on what people actually want. So I really encourage you to take your time filling this out, because if you fill this out well, there's a good chance the coming events in the future will be even better.
Nice. So again, the last thing is, if you're not already on our Discord server, I recommend you join it, because you're going to have access to all the opportunities we do in the future. So you're going to learn about everything there. Yeah, so can someone else also put this link in the chat? And then if you ever need to contact us, this is the email to do so. Cool, thanks, Genu. So now this is closing words. So yeah, so now we'll give closing words on this hackathon. So I'll go, this is the Paly Python team. So I'll go first, and then any other team members, if you want to add something, chime in. So I think overall, this hackathon went really well. I'm really impressed with what the teams did. I think, yeah, you should definitely be proud of what you did. I'm also really impressed with the Paly Python team for really making the hackathon as successful as it was. Like, there's a lot of work that went into it. There's the marketing, there was building stuff on the website, building out these slides, thinking of how the hackathon should work. It's a lot of work there. So, but yeah, it was good. Like, we laid the framework for future hackathons, but I think definitely it was a lot. So we're gonna take a little break for a while, and then we'll resume hard, and then we'll work on our future goals. So yeah, but last thing I'd have to say is thank you to all the teams for competing, and very good job. Okay, would anyone else like to share?
All right, I guess I'll say once again, congratulations to all of the teams. You guys all made wonderful projects that were fun to judge and to look at. And I want to again thank our sponsors of the hackathon. I want to thank United Layer for providing us with some servers and also money for the hackathon, $100 worth of prize money for the hackathon. So they are a server hosting company that you could go check out. You know, we had a pretty good experience working with them, and thanks to United Layer again for sponsoring this hackathon. And we would also like to thank Paly ASB, so that is the associated student body of Palo Alto High School, for supporting this hackathon with $100 in prize money too. And we would also like to thank everybody who donated to our GoFundMe, not only for the hackathon, but to support underserved communities also in our future mission.
Nice.
So I think we stress this one more time. Climate change is such a vast issue that it is not going to be solved by one like giant, super important invention. It's going to be solved by many people like you guys, the teams that actually competed here. Like all of your submissions are actually contributing to solving this big issue. So I would really like to thank you and hope you continue to solve such vast and big issues in the future. And if PalyPython and the things we are doing seems to align with your interests or something you want to do, I would encourage you to reach out and try to join our team, because we would be welcome to having new members.
Yes, thank you, Mahir, for bringing that up. So this is actually, yeah, I was going to talk about this, but then I forgot. But you guys get to hear it thanks to Mahir. So currently we have 7 people on the PalyPython team, including myself. So if you like what we're doing, if you like what we have lined up, learning platform, you know, helping out use Palo Alto with the computers, then join our team. I think you all will like it. So if you want to join, then go to Gmail, send an email to palypythonpc@gmail.com, the email that we use to send emails to you. Just so in that email, tell us, give us a little background about who you are, your experience. So we have 3 teams: website, content, and marketing and fundraising. So you can tell us about your programming experience. You can also tell us about your experience with marketing, if you have like your leadership experience, stuff like that. And then, yeah, so we'd love to welcome you onto the team. So anyone who's interested, go send that email. And then, you know, would you like to add anything?
It's kind of similar to what Mihir said. So yeah, I also want to stress the importance of climate change and that all of you made an impact, big or small. And we're also, by sharing this in our website, I think you could further spread that influence and that raising awareness to a lot more people. So congratulations, and I hope you could continue spreading awareness for this issue.
Awesome. Okay, so now we have one last thing, which is now we want to hear from you. So we're going to open the floor. So I've put some example questions that you could answer here to get you thinking. But you can also just share your experience. So now what I'd like next is I would like you guys to either answer one of these questions or share something in the chat, or like we did before, you can raise your hand and then we'll call on you. So Jensen, okay, so Jensen, you can talk to us.
I had like a really hard time actually like starting it because first of all, I had no ideas, and 2 of my teammates were on vacation like somewhere else in the United States. I don't know why, they never told me, and I don't know what happened. The other guy was not talking to me on Discord anymore, so I basically had to do everything on my own. Like, so yeah, that was pretty hard, and I thought of using some old code, but I was thinking like maybe I shouldn't do that. So yeah.
Okay, so Jensen, thanks for sharing with us. I know, you know, because you told us that, like that, it's really impressive that you got the project off, and you also maintained the moral high ground by not reusing your code. So good job there. Okay, so next, Arjun, you can share with us.
So my the hackathon changed my view and knowledge of climate change because I didn't really think of climate change of that pressing of an issue. Although as I did the research, like in the graphs and maps, I saw that a lot of the world is going to be flooded.
Awesome. And then Rian, you put in the chat that it's easier with a larger team. So would you like to add more to that by unmuting? Is Rian still here? Okay, I think he is gone. That's okay. Rian just left, got it. So would anyone else like to share? So, okay, also, if Miley is still here, let's see. I do not believe so. Okay, we're good. So I think we'll close it here. If you want to speak, raise your hand quickly. Arjun, do you want to add something, or is that just up from last time?
Oh, that was just from last time.
Okay, so that's great. So we'll wrap up the closing ceremony and our hackathon here. So yeah, once again, thanks for competing. Good job making an impact. Donate to our GoFundMe that's here, and then join our Discord server so you don't miss anything that's on Paly Python. And then I guess the last thing is join our team if that's something that you want to pursue. Okay. So thank you all for coming. You guys are free to go now.